So I've come out for a quick hour on the Dourest Loch in the Hebrides. I think this is the first video I've made here this year, and to be honest, I haven't been doing a lot of fishing. The weather has just been unsuitable in that I have had cold northeasterly winds, which is very unusual in September, and no water in the rivers. And normally when you get cold northeasterlies or whatever, and you think, well, that day is no good for trout, you can go to a river for salmon. Except that we haven't had any rain, real rain, in 3 weeks, you know. Now, we're having a wee bit of rain today. I don't think it'll be enough to make any difference to the rivers, but nonetheless, we're having it. And just because I had the afternoon free and the wind had come, you know, a wee bit southwesterly, what little wind there is, and this has been the other problem this September. Anytime there has been a suitable wind direction, it has been pretty close to flat calm, you know. But nonetheless, I thought I would get out here for a cast. So I'm starting on the Silver Goat's Toe and the Leggy Digby's Demon, if I could talk. And we'll give it a wee cast and see. Probably not going to spend too long standing about in this part. There was a year when this bit of the loch fished really well. But I haven't seen a fish in here ever since. It was like the weirdest thing. I was catching fish in here, and on this loch, catching a fish is a miracle. But consistently catching a few fish from the same place is like something just never happens, you know. But it happened that year. But like I say, I haven't seen a fish in here since. So. Oh, there's some cows up on the hill there. They're making a bit of shouting and commotion. So I plan to keep marching along this wee bit of bank fairly quickly. Apart from anything else, I don't have much of a wave. There isn't much of a wind today at all, but I don't have much of a wave in here at all, which isn't so good. But I thought, I'll not walk past it, you know, for the sake of 5 minutes. So I've rattled along this far fairly quickly. I kind of feel like maybe it'd be time for the cup of tea now, you know. I had a few potato crisps, which are quite salty obviously, before it came out, and it is possible that's also making the thirst, so to speak, you know. So a cup of tea is starting to seem quite attractive. I can come back and start from here and fish along a bit further. Don't think the chances of a fish are great, but equally they're not zero, you know. Though this loch takes a lot of fishing to get a fish out of it, you know. Oh well, I've found a wee spot here at the back of what I think is maybe an old peat bank. So I think I'll brew some tea, get that on, and enjoy the tea. The fishing doesn't look like it's going to be overly successful, but sure, that doesn't matter. It's just an excuse for a day out. And I haven't had many this year, so make the best of it, you know. So I'll work my way along this bank. Once I have the cup of tea, a few more casts, and see how that goes. So I'm nearly brewed. Oh, yes. There we go. I'll work my way along this bank here. Make a few more casts. See if I can move a fish. Probably can't. If it's very, very late in the season and the weather has been very cold recently. Now today's not so bad. The wind, or what little wind there is, has come southwesterly maybe. So leaves you with a wee chance, but it doesn't look hopeful, you know. But hey ho, we'll see how the cup of tea goes. That's the first priority. To get the comfort here, just to put the hood down. I'm not sure that it warrants being down just at the minute, but I've had my cup of tea. Just had a wee taste of tea on a biscuit. No banana today, I just had the biscuit. So, because it's the afternoon, I only came out like after lunch for an hour, you know. But I didn't change flies or anything, because that didn't seem really worth the effort, because I don't really know what I'm doing or what's going on here. Might move to something bigger later on, I'll see, but maybe something a bit brighter, don't know. See how it goes. The cows up the hill here are still mooing away, so I don't know what they're up to. They clearly have opinions about some stuff, you know. So again, I'm just going to keep moving along a wee bit. I don't know exactly how much further I'm going to go along. It just depends on when I get fed up, basically, or cold, or whatever, you know. Because it's very late in the year now for trout fishing, and the chances of a fish are pretty slim, but the chances of fishing this loch are always slim. So, you know, I don't really put much faith in any of the patterns that I claim to have seen here, because it is so rare to catch a fish out of it that it's hard to know. Don't think I've ever caught a fish out of it this late on, because we're right at the end of September now. But again, because the sample size is small, I'm not sure that my so-called evidence tells you anything, you know. Nice to get a day out though, you know, or at least a wee hour out, because the wind's to come back to the northeast again, I think. So that today might be the best chance of a trout before the end of the season, you know. In the wind today certainly isn't. It isn't a nice mild southeasterly, but it's not as bitterly cold as it has been, you know, and that's, I suppose, better than it was. Now, I moved the fish, and I felt the fish, but I failed to hook it. So, interestingly, the fish rose. It came up and took the flies almost as they hit the water. So, I guess I could try putting the flies out in a similar area, but I don't think it'll come back because, like I say, I felt it. So, that kind of pretty much does away with any hope of that. But you know, it's the only fish I've seen, so I know there's a fish out there, so it's worth at least another couple of throws into that general area. Again, moved the fish and failed to hook it, and the interesting thing is when I lifted into it, it followed the flies and it took another rise at them. If it's the same fish, to have moved it like basically 3 times is, don't know, quite remarkable. It doesn't look like a big fish, mind you, it just looks like a wee doubler, but a fish is a fish, especially on this loch. Try the hood down again, up, down, up, down, up, down. Don't know whether I'm coming or going. Along another step. Try from here now. So, I'm not having huge amounts. Put the hood back up again. Up, down, up, down. Not having huge amounts of success here, I'm not. I'll go along a wee bit further and then I'll maybe start thinking about calling it quits. You know? It was only a wee swift hour-long run out. I think I might change the flies though. Don't know if it'll make any difference, but I mean, I suspect that I'm probably not covering very many fish, and those that I am covering are lying down on the bottom doing whatever it is they do in this loch. But just in case, I think a fly change might not be out of order, you know. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the flies, fish along a wee bit further, and then consider my options, you know. So I changed the flies. I now have a Loch Shrimp and a Barvis crippler on. See if that does me any favours. They're both maybe a size a bit big for the fact that I don't have a wave, but I'm just chancing them in case they might bring something up, you know. Because, you know, maybe a bigger fly might look like a more worthwhile mouthful or something to a trout, you know. So that's why fishing a wee bit big. This fish is determined not to come ashore. Actually, he's determined to take to the air. So I think he's on the Loch Shrimp. He's not a big fish, but just so amazing to get one, you know. There we go. So there we go, lovely wee fish, not big, but back he goes, and he came on the Loch Shrimp, so notch up a point to the Loch Shrimp, I guess. Maybe going a bit bigger was a worthwhile exercise. Maybe it was just completely random. Oh well, this fish is going to land itself. Here, come here. Another one on the Loch Shrimp. Now, don't do all your fighting on the land. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Hold on, I'll put you back. So there's another wee fish. This one, he nearly brought himself ashore with all his jumping about. And again, on one of John McLean's Loch Shrimps in seemingly hopeless conditions, got to say. So maybe the change of fly has been efficacious, you know. I think it'll soon be dinner time, you know. I'm starting to get that feeling on me. But I fancy just working into the corner here a wee bit. And then that'll be me done, I would think. Really, it's been productive in that I moved a fish and landed two, all of them wee, but nonetheless. It really is rather more than I expected, you know. I expected to see and move nothing. That's the truth. Again, they're so keen to take to the air that you have them on the bank, like almost under their own steam. Again, another wee tiny fish, but it's all tangled up. And again, on John's Loch Shrimp. So there we go, wee tiny fella. Did he get away? Oh yeah, he's away. Back to his watery lair. So I'm finding this hard to believe. That now is 3 fish and one moved as well. All quite small, but nonetheless fish, you know. Trout with a hook down again. Yeah. There's still a wee light drizzle, but not too bad. I think I'll get away with it, you know. So maybe the change of fly to the Loch Shrimp was the key today. I don't know. Again, this loch tends to be so dour that it's impossible really to know if there's a key to anything, you know. So that's me up pretty much to the fence, and that's as far as I intend to go. Just because it is, and I'm not out for very long really. And so far, I'm really pleased with 3 fish and 1 missed on this loch is a good result. And again, I appreciate there'll be people who think 3 fish and 1 missed isn't really a good result, but then none of them have ever fished this loch. The people who have will be going, oh yeah, good result. Yeah. So I'm pleased with that, especially as it's not like I've been out for a whole day, you know, just out for a quick cast, really. dropped it. Oh well, that's a shame. View of how hard fish are to get in here, you know. However, the one on up a bit came twice. Can't be sure it was the same fish. So I guess it's worth putting the fly over the same spot a couple of times, just in case this one does the same thing. Seems unlikely, but hey ho, because it was the lightest wee touch that I felt. I did feel it, but it was the lightest wee touch. So what can I say? Big success on the Dourest Loch in the Hebrides, and certainly unexpected success. And I think I'll call it quits for the day. I'm starting to feel hungry. You know? Feels like it's dinner time. I could be doing with heading home and getting some food. Plus I have to negotiate these cattle on the way back, which might extend my route somewhat. So I have to see how that goes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe I'll come back for another one. I know it wasn't exactly exciting, and it certainly a sort of dark day right at the end of the season doesn't exactly show off the Outer Hebrides in its scenic splendour, but hey ho, we've got what we've got, you know.